Sounds good.
It's on.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is June Prasad, the chair of the Commerce Committee. It is now 7:33. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Okay, I'll now do a quick roll call. Only members can answer. June Prasad, present. Adele Bennett. Adele Bennett. Maybe she'll join us later. George Tate.
Present.
Thank you. Margarita Vigilante. Margarita Vigilante. Maybe she'll join us later too. Bree DeCosta.
Present.
Thank you, Bree. Sonia Clark. I know you're on the call, Sonia. Sonia? Okay, I'll come back to her. Ruby Harrison. Ruby Harrison. Alison French Kenton. Alison French Kenton. Can that person please mute themselves? I'm not sure who that is. Cheryl Sanders. Cheryl Sanders. Ozzie Lewis. Ozzie Lewis. John Dixon. John Dixon. Simone Sylvester.
Present.
Thank you. Ivor Woods. Ivor Woods.
Present.
Thank you, Ivor. Danny McCain.
Present.
Danny McCain. Thank you. Hazel Martinez.
Present.
Sean Hopkinson. Sean Hopkinson. Celia Bedding. Celia Bedding. Tawa Bakari. Tawa Bakari. Hope I pronounced her name correctly.
I'm here today. I'm here. Good evening.
Thank you. 1 second. Sorry. And Janelle Howard.
Present.
Francis Hell.
Present.
Okay, I just want to make a quick correction here. We have quorum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we just made well, we have 10 people. All right. 1 second. Okay. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the chairperson's report. That would be me. Again. Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Commerce Committee meeting. I would like to give a special welcome to our guest speaker, Mr. Floyd Jarvis, who is the Director of Cannabis Workforce and Business Development Center. We also have 3 cannabis applications tonight. As you may know, this month's Commerce meeting falls after the General Board meeting, so 7 liquor license applications were on the General Board agenda, and 4 showed up to the meeting for approval. Special thank you to Sonia Clark and Danny McCain, who came out and supported our first Small Business Expo. Some members indicated that they were unable to attend, and I appreciate that, but a lot of the other members didn't come out to support. Being part of being a member of any committee is to assist and support any event that the committee has. Each event event attendance could have been better, but the vendors did thank me for having them at the event, and they did, had a pretty successful time. I would like to extend condolences on behalf of the Commerce Committee to Ms. Bree DeCosta on the death of her uncle. Also, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. That ends my report. Are there any questions?
No.
Just
One of the George?
Ms. Prasad,
Yes, George.
you were breaking out. I didn't hear who's about the death.
Okay, Miss Bree DeCosta, her uncle passed away.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No
My
problem.
condolences.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, Sonia Clark present.
Thank you, Sonia. Okay. And I think I see Alison French Kenton. Is that you, Alison?
Yes.
Okay, good. I had you absent, so let me change that to present.
Hey, I
One
didn't hear my name
Marguerite's
either.
here also.
1 second, 1 second. One at a time, please. Who was that?
Marguerite,
Oh, you're here?
Yep.
Okay.
good
Thank
evening.
you, dear. Good evening. All right. Bear with me, guys. I'll be right with you. We have a full house tonight, almost. Someone said they didn't hear their name. Who is that?
Hey, Kenrick Kelly.
Okay, you're not a board member, sir. Aren't you an applicant?
Okay, yes.
Okay. That would be the reason why you didn't hear your name. Okay. All right. Moving right along.
Good night, everybody. Ozzy Lewis.
Good night, Miss Ozzy. You barely made the third meeting. Welcome, Miss Ozzy. Let me change you from absent to present. Next time I'll leave you all blank so that way I wouldn't have to change for those who showed up late. All right. The next item on the agenda is a presentation by our guest speaker, Mr. Floyd Jarvis. Like I said earlier, he's the Director for Cannabis Workforce and Business Development Center. Mr. Jarvis, the floor is yours.
Hello, good evening, CB17. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm just pulling up some. Do I have the ability to share screen?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you. So, it's a pleasure to be here. I am a CB18 resident, but I'm a child of CB17, as it were. December 31st, 1989. I was 4 years old. That's when my parents came to this country, and we settled on 144 Rockaway Parkway between Winthrop and Rutland. By 92, we moved to Canarsie, and I've been in Canarsie ever since. And some of you, I met Ms. Passard and some of you at the what meeting was that? It was in this past summer in July when Assembly Member Chandler Waterman had what was it? It was about the proliferation of unlicensed smoke shops. I spoke there along with some other community members. It was at the church on Clarendon, I believe.
Yes, correct.
What church is that? Because
Father Gilbrand's church. I'm not sure.
Okay.
You can help me with the name. I don't remember.
Yes.
Was that Alliance Tabernacle?
Yeah, your church, George.
The Alliance Tabernacle.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Formerly Clarendon Road Church.
Correct.
Yes. I had the pleasure of being there this past July, and we smoked. We spoke about the proliferation of unlicensed smoke shops. So since April 3rd, I've been the inaugural director of the CUNY BMCC Cannabis Workforce and Business Development Training Program. Prior to that, I was the executive director of Ganja War Veterans for Equity, an organization that was part of the Start Smart New York Coalition, which helped to pass the MRTA, which is the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act. I'm a former legacy market operator. A legacy market operator is someone who, prior to legalization, in some manner, the distribution, sale, some sort of cannabis was part of your income, right? And when the law was created, part of it was created with these persons in mind, the communities and persons that were directly impacted during the war on drugs. And if some of you know, I'm sure you've seen the CDI map. The CDI stands for Communities Disproportionately Impacted. And I don't know if some of y'all know this, but this area has the highest concentration of persons that self-identify as Black in the city of New York, right? So unfortunately, there was a lot of police persecution in the CD17 district. Now I'm here at BMCC, and one of the things, and this is full disclosure, for 3 years I was unemployed purposely because I told myself that the next job that I get has to be in the legal cannabis industry, helping my community in some way get into this legal business if they want to. Essentially standing in the gap, being a buffer zone, a conduit, not a buffer zone, excuse me, a conduit to legalization, essentially. So straight up and down, that's what I do. Now at BMCC, Cannabis Workforce and Business Development Program, we're part of a $2 million grant from, so let me share my screen. I'm here chatting, share, hold on. Share, okay, how we do this screen. Oh yeah. Can we see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, let me try
The
and
bottom
get,
half, though.
say it again.
I can see the bottom half.
Okay, I gotta expand this. Hold on 1 second. Where are we? Is this any better?
I can make out it's just not on the top of the screen, but I can make it out. It's legible.
All right, cool. Okay, is that better? And anyone in the crowd, can you see this?
Yes, that's fine.
We can see it.
Thank you. So we received this $2 million grant. It's in partnership with Lehman College. Lehman College would handle the small business development of cannabis company, and we would handle the workforce development. So right now, the first part of our program is training cannabis security professionals. So persons with their New York State 8-hour as well as 16-hour training. We bring them in. It's a no-cost grant-funded program. That's where the $2 million comes in. And we train them and upskill them and train them in all the rudiments of cannabis security. It's a 2-month training. And the second part of it is a job readiness component where we asked cannabis professionals, cannabis dispensary owners, what are their needs? And they said cannabis security. So the first part of our training certificate program is cannabis security, which is right now, October 17th was our first cohort. Our second cohort begins December 5th. If you know anyone with their 8-hour and 16-hour New York City security guard license, bring them down and we'll get them upskilled and get all of these certifications in order to work cannabis security. Next year, which is right around the corner, we'll begin our cannabis dispensary associate program, which teaches people how not just to work, but to manage legal cannabis dispensaries in the state and city of New York, as well as our cannabis manufacturing technician training, which trains persons. I've said teaches incorrectly. It's a training program, workforce development training. We're giving them the skills and getting them out on the workforce. The third part is cannabis manufacturing technician, which trains persons on how to work in cannabis labs with cannabis tinctures, cannabis, the various cannabis extraction processes, anything changing the matter of the flower into something else that has to do with cannabis manufacturing. So that is part of our program. Next year, I'm gonna just read off a couple of these slides to you. And I know it says BMCC, Lehman College. You're thinking, all right, we're Brooklyn. As I stated before, that's why I stated it like that. I'm a Brooklyn boy. You have a resource here. You understand? Use me as a resource. Next year we're gonna begin our CHIP program, which stands for Cannabis Hub Incubator Program. Right? I just filled out another grant given to the OCM, and that grant is going to give us allow us to provide technical assistance to persons for license and application. and walk them through the licensing process and see them through the licensing process. This past November 1st, we held a licensing clinic for this new open round that is open right now. And this, at least once or twice before December 18th, the closing deadline, we're going to hold another clinic. But it's just up to me. I got to come up with that date. I'm leaving tonight to go to Georgia to see my family. But when we get back, we're definitely having another clinic, which is a pilot program for the CHIP program that we're going to begin next year. So we do cannabis workforce development training, as well as we're moving into cannabis licensing technical assistance. And yeah, I think that's good. That's it that's the short version of it. Let me go back to this slide to give you some more about what we're doing. So the workforce development is creation and enhancement of short-term credential and micro-credential courses, which are meant to provide pathways to business creation and employment in the growing cannabis industry. Again, right now we're training cannabis security professionals. We're going through our first cohort. We've got about 25 persons in that cohort. The next one begins December 5th. And we're getting people from the economic opportunity centers. So from Manhattan Economic Opportunity Center, I went down to Canberra this past week. I'm going back down when I come back from Georgia because I know they have a security guard training course also. The job readiness component. Now, all certificates, whether it's cannabis security, manufacturing, or dispensary associate, comes with a job readiness component to equip our talent pool with the necessary 21st century skills for the cannabis industry. The business development component I mentioned we're now delving into, which is roundtable discussion series, educational advocacy events, application assistance, which we're going to begin doing, business plan development, corporation structure, and with capital and finance. So when we do get this grant, I'm pretty sure we're going to get the grant. They called us as one of the people to find out how we should be doing this. So we're working with where I'm situated in Lower Manhattan. So my office is 25 Broadway, right next to the Charge and Bull. We're working with Lower Manhattan Business Solutions Center, as well as an attorney's office, as well as directly with Cannabis NYC. And Cannabis NYC has the Fast Track program, which, hold on, no, I wanted to, oh, right here. Okay, no, they're not allowing me to show it. Okay, Cannabis Fast Track right here. Could you see it?
Yes.
All right, we're working with Cannabis NYC, and this Fast Track program is for any cannabis entrepreneur. It could be an ancillary cannabis business. It doesn't have to be touching the flower. And they walk you through this program, and they provide you information on cannabis regulations, operation, license, and requirements. So we're not just working by ourselves on this CHIP program. Whoever comes down will get all hands on deck with their cannabis business. And I believe this is, yeah, you had to log in to actually do the application. But yeah, it's a really, our program is holistic, all hands on deck. You come for cannabis training, you're gonna get other services, other wraparound services. So whether you're coming in on the workforce level, we got you. Whether you're coming in on the business development level, we got you. And they both feed each other. So that is, let me go back to the PowerPoint here. And again, organizational liaisons, we've developed working partnerships with state agencies. We work closely with the OCM to facilitate proper communication, as well as other organizations and city agencies. These are the certification programs that I mentioned. Right now, we're doing cannabis security solutions. Next year, so we're looking to push through at least 3 cohorts of cannabis security, then begin dispensary associate. So maybe in March, we're going to begin dispensary associate. Right now, we're looking to equip security guard training, strictly cannabis security solutions as our foothold in the industry. This is a little bit about Lehman College, but they're part of cannabis business development, but we'll be doing this also when the CHIP grant comes out, right? And this is a little bit about our program rollout year 1, year 2, and year 3. And so yeah, we're doing cannabis workforce development training as well as cannabis small business development. Any questions? Thank you, June. I think you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm quite sure there'll be a lot of questions. Thank you, Mr. Floyd.
Yes.
The floor is open for any questions. Let's do this one at a time. Wait to be acknowledged, please. If I don't see your hands, just pretty much let me know that you have a question.
I have a question.
State your name, please.
Omar Thomas.
Okay, Omar, are you an applicant?
Yes, I'm affiliated with Kenrick Kelly.
Oh, you're affiliated with that thing. Okay, go right ahead.
Would I be able to get your contact information, Mr. Floyd?
So don't feel special. Everyone will get my contact information as I'm putting it in the chat right now. So yes.
Okay.
That was your question?
That was my question.
No problem. Are you an attorney? Or are you representing Mr. Kelly, or are you just
I'm a part of his company.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Are there any other questions from the Commerce Committee members?
Yes, George Tate.
Okay, George, you got the floor.
Yeah, my question is regarding the security training. What is this security guard positions at the licensed cannabis dispensaries? Are they going to be armed security?
So we're that is at the discretion of the cannabis dispensary owner, whether it's armed or whether their security personnel is armed or not. What we're training, so you can get your 8 and 16-hour security guard training license, and then you could either get or not get your armed security license or your gun license for that matter. So we have people in both fields that are part of our talent pool in our first cohort. People that are armed with their license and regular security personnel.
Okay, the first part of my question was, is this a security guard for the dispensaries themselves? These are like the security guards are for the locations like the licensed dispensaries stores.
Correct. That's what we were charged to do with the grant. Create the workforce for the legal cannabis industry, whether it's security, dispensary, or manufacturing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions? I'm sure you guys have questions.
Yes, I have a question.
Please identify yourself. Can't see no hands. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kenrick Kelly.
Okay.
Like the courses that you give, right? How long throughout the day? What's the time frame?
Great question. So our first and second cohort is your classes are Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 to 9 in the evening. It's a hybrid course. The first part is online, and the second job readiness component is down at 25 Broadway.
Williamsburg?
No.
I think that's in the city.
Lower Manhattan in New York, right by the Charging Bull, right off the 4 train, Bowling Green, right there.
All right, cool.
Next question.
All right, good night. Osney Lewis
Go right ahead,
Treasurer.
Mr. Lewis.
Of the CB17. Now, my question for you is, now that they are really getting into the development of the spaces, What about the commercial aspect in terms of construction, lease agreements, the different DOB requirements for dispensaries, the labs, and all these different things? Because it might not have everybody who might be willing to jump into this space to deal with it, but you have a lot of people in our community that are in the construction field, that are in the compliance field, et cetera, et cetera. What opportunities are there for them?
And what's your name, sir?
Osney Lewis.
Ozzy?
Yeah.
Great question, Ozzy Lewis. So I always promote that you don't have to this will be documented for my supervisors. I'm not touching no weed. I'm not rolling up any cannabis. I'm not smoking any herb. I'm not selling any herb. However, I am speaking to a commerce community of a community board. So this is an ancillary cannabis business. This is ancillary cannabis work. There are many, many, many opportunities for ancillary cannabis work and businesses in this new burgeoning market in this city and this state. As you mentioned, everyone is involved. They're all hands on deck, down from construction to security. Now this is I'm going to give you some opinion here. Now, DASNY, which is Dormitory Association of New York, has been charged with finding property for the original CARD applicants. CARD is an acronym, CAU, which stands for Conditional Adult Use Retail Dispensary License.
I don't even know if she sent it. Yeah, I don't know whether she's
Mute everyone.
Yeah, somebody got to go on mute, please.
I'll mute everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, I got a vote. Yeah, I can't hear her.
Sonia Clark, please mute yourself. Give thanks.
I just did.
All right. CARD applicants, Conditional Adult Use Retail Dispensary. DASNY, the Dormitory Association of New York, was charged with finding property for them. And they were supposed to come up with $200 million. Or now nobody can find the $200 million. As a result, persons had to go get property themselves. There were a lot of astronomical numbers that people were throwing out there that you need to get a retail dispensary. Really and truly, that's not the case. There are, and I'm keeping it a buck, in the cannabis space, if in ancillary actors, there are a lot of skullduggerous and predatory actors too, which is why it's important for community to get involved, to look out for and avoid these things. But there are many opportunities in cannabis dispensary construction and building. Simply with storefronts, once, as some of the applicants know, it's 1,000 feet barrier. So like the problem of the illicit smoke shops, once a legal dispensary goes up, within 1,000 feet of that entrance, another legal dispensary cannot be, unless it's at the discretion of the Cannabis Control Board, which also means that all the other illicit shops will have to move up also, because the state wants their tax money. You understand? So there are many opportunities, Mr. Ozzy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Who's that? Sorry. Oh. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, Ivor has been up.
No, go ahead, Ivor. Sorry, I can't see everyone's hand. My apologies.
Thank you. Thank you for the information, Mr. Floyd. Are there any prerequisites for the classes, for the security classes? Are there any automatic disqualifications, things like that?
The prerequisites are you must have your 8-hour and 16-hour New York State security certification along with your fingerprints taken, and you can't get your certification without your fingerprints. So essentially your New York State security guard certification, those are only prerequisites. You don't need a college degree or none of that stuff.
About felonies or past troubles?
if we do, there, I don't want to say there's ways around that, but there's something called certificate of good conduct, and we put the persons and the applicants in touch with that, and on how to achieve that. Full disclosure, I'm a formerly justice involved person. I did 4 years in the state, 6 months in federal immigration, beat my deportation, and now I'm director of a cannabis program. So I always push for that, and that's a great question. So yeah, there's ways around that, and there's ways through that, through the certificate of good conduct.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
have a question, Mr. Floyd. Well, a couple of questions. So the security you're talking about for the cannabis retail, facility, are they required by OCM, just like the state liquor authority requires that liquor license applicant do have security on the premises? Is that a requirement or depend on the owner of the establishment?
It's required for persons working in cannabis dispensaries to have RVT training, responsible vendor training, which we provide.
Oh, so it's a vendor's training. Okay.
That is required. I'm not even, that's a good question. I'm not even sure if it's required by the OCM. I believe it's assumed, but it might be required, and I will look into that. I should know that. So you got me there.
Okay. So I got some homework for you.
Right? I'm writing it down.
Please do. Oh, we just lost you. Oh no, we lost your we lost your okay. My second question is so applicants for cannabis is something very new for us as all community board members. This is actually our first set of attendance for applications. We had I think a few before. So what can you tell me, what's the difference between the retail dispensary premises, new or additional, or micro business? Because I have an applicant here who has micro business tick on their 30-day notice, and I'm only familiar with retail dispensary premises. So can you explain to me what's the difference?
Great question. So the MRTA licensing portion was set up to prohibit and avoid vertical integration. Vertical integration is from seed to sale, farm to table. You cultivate the ganja seed, it grows, you extract from it, you distribute it, and you can sell it and deliver it, right? The MRTA tries to avoid that because usually big companies try to do that and to avoid monopolization of the New York State cannabis industry. However, because the MRTA is geared to persons and communities that were directly impacted, it provides a particular caveat for micro business license, which C applicants, right? I'm gonna put that here, SEE, which stands for social and economic equity applicants, right? To get a micro business license, right? And again, C applicants are persons that were directly impacted, minority business owners, women business owners, distressed farmers, what are other qualifications? And so there's those, and then there's persons who are, you get further priority if you've been, the other one was, excuse me, come from a CDI, which is a community that was disproportionately impacted. And that's the whole of CD17, because the Dutty 6-7 precinct, I don't know if y'all know here, because we
have a represented online. So
wonderful. So they heard me, and they could report that because they were the ones who had the medallions that said Fort Job, right? That used to lock up Rasta Man for herb. So y'all can run tell that. You feel me? So this community has been directly impacted severely during cannabis prohibition. So June, bring me back. I lost myself for that. I had a flash.
Okay, so the question was, what's the difference between a retail dispensary premise and a micro business?
So the micro business allows persons to, you have to cultivate, right? The micro business will allow for seed to sale. The micro business will allow for vertical integrations for seed applicants, right? So the micro business, You have to cultivate and do something else. This new licensing period is 5 license types: cultivation, distribution, micro business, retail dispensary, and
Distributor license.
there you go, distributor license. Thank you. Shout out to you, distributor license, right? So with the micro business, you must cultivate and do something else. Must cultivate and process, must cultivate delivery, must cultivate and distribute, or must cultivate and retail. At least one, or you could do the whole of them. You feel me? So that person who has a micro business license, they want to cultivate, they can cultivate and distribute at that premises or at that facility, or it could be a retail dispensary where they grow their own herb. And usually, not usually, there are certain requirements that the OCM provides. Like I believe it's about 3,500 up to 3,500 square feet of canopy grow room in that facility. So you could get that from a decent sized building. You feel me? You could reach those goals. So that is what a micro business is for. You have to find out if they like what else they intend to do. If it's a micro business and retail dispensary, or if it's a micro business and a cultivation facility, or if it's micro business and distribution and what have you.
Okay, I'm sure we're going to get to the applicant in a few minutes. One last quick question. So the applicant's name, that should be in the business name, correct? When you're applying, most people tend to put this in their personal name. I know with liquor license, we can do that. I'm not sure with the cannabis application. I know they have a DBA name, but usually on the applicant's line, it should be the name that they're doing business as. Am I wrong or am I right?
The person who's putting in the application for the cannabis license, you're talking about the notification of municipality.
Yeah, right. The notification, right.
Correct. The person's name should be whoever's
Applying for it.
Gonna be the main TPI, the chief TPI, the head honcho TPI. Their name should be on the application. The TPI stands for True Party of Interest,
As well as the doing business name, because it asks for both on it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
To answer your question, it asks for both. But sorry, though.
Yeah,
I don't
it
wanna
does. It
over-
does.
overstep.
But the top part where it says applicant name should be the business name, and then there's a part that tells you serve this notification, my name, so. Maybe the liquor license it's a little different. So I'm sure OCB will learn as we go ahead. That ends my question. Are there any other question on the floor?
Yeah, I have my hand up. I'd like to ask a
Sorry,
question.
my apologies. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Margarita.
That's fine. I don't know if this is a question. I don't know who can answer this question. If you have a liquor license, can you also get a cannabis license, or?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So you can, but they have to be separate businesses, separate entities.
Okay, but they can be in the same venue, in the same building?
No, then it would not be separate.
They have to be in separate locations?
Correct.
So it can be next door, but it cannot be.
Yeah,
in
they
the
could be
same-
next door to each other. I mean, is there like, how you can't be within 500 feet of something? If you have a liquor license establishment, does the cannabis establishment have to be a certain amount of feet away or something like that?
Not from a liquor establishment, Miss Margarita.
But from
Church,
another
right,
cannabis.
from another cannabis, and
Okay.
from a church or a school. There's
Okay,
restriction on it there.
so
but not-
liquor and cannabis don't clash in any way?
No, not to my knowledge.
They clash if you try to put them together.
Yeah, if you in the same building, of course. Yes.
Okay, all right, great, thank you.
You're very welcome. Are there any other questions?
So real quick before we get to that question potential, it reminds me. So with the micro business license, there are 2 categories for location. So because micro business, you have to cultivate and do something else. If you live in a city with a population of 1 million or more, there's one classification and there's another for the upstate people. So for us, your cultivation site has to be
25 miles.
No. I got this. Give thanks. Your cultivation site in the city of New York, if you have a million people, has to be within the same county. So your micro business dispensary could be in Sunset Park, but your cultivation site could be in East New York.
Do they have to provide that site on the application? Because like I said, this is all new for us, so we're learning as we go.
Not on the notification of municipality, on the
Thank you.
actual cannabis license.
Application.
For upstate people, Long Island people, it has to be within 25 miles.
Right.
So if you're in Monticello, you could be 25-mile radius of Monticello.
We're in charge of Brooklyn here. We're not going out the state yet. All right, floor still open.
I have a question. With the micro business, could you cultivate and have a dispensary in separate locations, or have to be the same location?
So with a micro business license, you're only allowed one license. So with that license, if you're in New York, if you're in Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
You can have remember, you have to cultivate and do something else.
Yeah.
At least one thing else, right? The off-site is just for cultivation. Everything else must be done at that site.
Okay,
I'm still not clear. So if I want to have a dispensary, it has to be done within where I'm cultivating at.
It has to be in the same. I'll let him speak though. In the same county though.
We're talking about a micro business. Is we talking about a micro business?
Yeah, the micro business. It has to be in the same county, but I could have, if I get a different address, could I use the address as well? Like 2 different addresses, basically.
Listen, follow me. Whatever idea you had about micro business before, erase it from your mind. Just listen to what I'm saying to you right now, right?
Well, he can't erase it because his application is for a micro business. That was the reason for asking that question. That's why he's asking you all these questions, because his application, it applies to his application that we have to approve tonight. So, or disapprove. So, that's why.
I kind of got the hint of that, which is why I chose to tell him, erase that from his mind. Just listen to what I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
If you're putting in a cannabis application for a micro business license in New York City, which is a population of over 1 million people, in the county of Kings, which is Brooklyn, your micro business, you have to cultivate and do at least one other thing: cultivate and dispense, cultivate and distribute, cultivate and process, cultivate and deliver. That cultivation site has to be within the county of Kings. Anywhere from the Brooklyn Bridge to the Belt Parkway, as long as it's in Kings County. And your retail dispensary or whatever else you're doing with that micro business has to be within Kings County.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, just to see, do I have to share addresses? That's what I'm asking, basically.
Not on your notification of municipality.
All right.
But here's the thing. Because you're putting in a notification of municipality, it notifies the OCM that you do have control of the property, whether rental agreement or outright ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you put in your full application, not the notice, they will ask where your cultivation site address and your dispensary or your processing or your delivery site is.
All right.
So I have the both of them ready.
Okay.
Can I just ask one more question for clarification here? So you said that when you have a micro business, you have to cultivate and do one other thing. Can you run down the list of the other things again? What they are exactly? Just.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. OCMMICRO. I'm gonna give you one better.
You want me to tell her, or you got it?
I got it. You can begin telling, and I will share my screen right now, actually.
So a micro business is essentially a small business. With that, you can sell cannabis to duly licensed processors, sell cannabis products that has been produced by a licensed distributor, distribute self-produced cannabis products to a retail dispensary and on-site consumption premises, as well as deliver micro business cannabis products to cannabis consumers and be a cannabis event organizer and sell cannabis products directly to consumers from the micro business retail premises.
That's
Thank
a
you for
lot
that.
to remember.
Can you see my
Yeah,
screen?
can you share that with me, Mr. Floyd, like to my email or something, so I can probably.
Yeah, and can we get a
Yeah.
copy of that too?
Yeah,
So we can
Sure.
yeah.
sure,
I'll
no
just
problem.
share the
Because
link.
we're all learning this stuff, okay? Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Let me go back to the Zoom right here, and here is the link paste for everyone. All right. So it says, all right, my bad. Where am I? Hold on. Micro business right here. All right, we can see this. Now it looks kind of small.
Yeah, just if you can share it to the community board, and I'll get it out to all the members. That'll be fine. If you want to send it to the Commerce Committee, CB17, or Ms.
We can
Fraser.
send it to the email. My email.
Right.
Okay, got it.
I'll forward it right now. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but it's in the chat for.
Yes,
For president.
I just tested the link and it works.
Yeah.
The link works.
Okay.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
but yeah, forward it to my email. So.
All
All right. Are there any other questions? I want to wrap this up because we have the applications to process. Are there any other questions?
Nope.
Hearing none. Oh, yeah. Adele, go ahead. Adele, your connection is bad. No, we can't. You're breaking up. You want to put it in the chat or something, because we can't really hear you clearly. Okay, while we wait for her question, I don't think anyone else has any other question. I want to thank Mr. Floyd, but please do not go anywhere. Stay online because we need your assistance in helping to process these applications that we have tonight. I think we have 3. Detective Skinner, are you with us? Before I proceed, I'd like to invite Detective Skinner from the 67th Precinct. You're still here. Thank you for being here. The floor is now yours. You feel free to address the Commerce Committee.
Good evening, everyone. Detective Skinner from 67 Precinct. Early happy Thanksgiving to everyone. My report is short. It's not long this time around, thank God. Just to let you guys know, so far for the crime stats, so far in the year, we're down 7% in overall crime. We're down 6% in homicides. We're down 22% in robberies. We're down 14% in burglaries, 6% in grand larcenies, and we're down 13% in stolen vehicles, which is a great thing because that was something that was a thorn in our side for the past 3 years with these stolen vehicles. As far as the burgs, what we're seeing is commercial burgs for like some of these buildings and some of these stores that have, like, for example, packages and copper wire and stuff like that, like new developments that's being put up. But as far as like for the packages, obviously we're seeing that on as far as like residential buildings, people walking in and just taking packages. Unfortunately, like we saw an increase in rapes, 33 this year as opposed to 26. But what we've been seeing is that it has been mostly domestic cases with that, and we also saw an increase in felony assaults. As far as for our main things, like our gun arrests year to date, we have 160 gun arrests year to date with 125 guns recovered. Just a couple days ago, they actually did another operation on that where they had gotten a search warrant for that, and they're just waiting back to get all the everything back from the court so they can actually hit the house that they got the search warrant on from the information that they had gotten. As far as vehicles being towed, for year to date, we have 346 vehicles that was abandoned, unregistered, and towed. We also have another tow operation on the 28th of this month. So we're going to continue with that as well. I know some of the things that was brought up to us also too, just jumping around, was people disobeying pavement markings, like they'll go on the zebra stripe down Linden, and also too like the scooters. So our traffic team been out there, we've been addressing that, but also too with the scooters, I know that's been something citywide that has been going on, where people have been complaining about. You know, these scooters, a lot of them are like delivery workers from some of these stores that we have been addressing too. As far as holiday tips, being as the holidays is coming around, I know it's kind of hard. But as far as like packages, again, you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but being as the fact that it's such a hot topic over the past few years, you know, people stealing packages of people porches and in the buildings. If possible, if your building has a room, I've seen some buildings we've gone into where the management company has actually put like a package room for the delivery man, so they can actually throw it in there. If your neighbor is home and you have a good relationship or rapport with your neighbor, see if maybe they can hold on to the package for you if possible. Or tell your delivery person, if you live in a private house, hey, can you leave a note? Can you put it on the back, maybe my back porch, my backyard, if possible. And also just be also too with holiday time around scams. Believe it or not, just 2 days ago, I got a call on my department cell phone with a scam asking to donate money, and also another scam of somebody being arrested and send money. So those things are something that has been going on. Just be cognizant of that. Please do not give any type of money on a gift card. That should be a red flag as it is. Because if you had to give any type of money or anything like that, they would not be asking from a gift card. Another thing too is also the banks. Be very careful with the banks. There's a few people very well that have been scammed with the bank saying, hey, did you just make this transaction? And they would actually call the bank back, and it would be somebody from Chase or Citibank or TD and saying, yeah, it's us, and they're actually getting scammed. So my advice is definitely hang up, either go into the bank the next day or call yourself. So just be very careful of that as well. I don't have much in the report. That's all I have. And if anybody has any quick questions, I'll take a few questions before I turn it on to the next speaker.
Okay. Thank you, Detective Skinner. The floor is open for brief questions. Are there any questions?
Detective Skinner, good evening. This is Austin Lewis.
Good evening.
Question for you. Is the traffic department for the 67 precinct also looking into the stopping of all of the acidic Jewish buses throughout Linden, Snyder, and so forth? The buses, I almost got hit by one turning a corner close to PS 235, which is on 40th and Lennox. And you know, these folks, they will just stop the bus across the lane, across the street to drop off one child, instead of like other folks where you would have a drop-off point. They would just constantly, especially Linden in the morning time, they stop across Linden, and Linden is a main thoroughfare with the trucks and everything going through. You know, is there any enforcement for those folks?
So with the buses, I remember that was a topic that was brought up on one of the meetings I want to say a couple months ago. With those buses, I have not witnessed it myself, but I do know what you're talking about, because I have heard people say that the buses do, like, they'll cut traffic off. And I understand the reason for it, because a lot of times people would go around the bus, but it could be a better way of them doing that. So that's something that we haven't seen so far, but that's something we'll definitely look into, though. Like, if we see it, we'll definitely address it.
Okay, Adele, is that question for Detective Skinner, or was that from before? Adele? Did you? Is that question for Detective Skinner, or was it from before?
It's from before.
Okay, can you take your hands down, please? Mr. Floyd, can you address the question she had in the chat? I think you could answer it on the chat. Thank you, Detective Skinner.
Good night, everyone. Enjoy your holidays.
Good one. The very same to you. Thank you very much.
If I'm affiliated with the state of New York, in what capacity? I'm an employee of the Research Foundation of the City University of New York. That is my affiliation, CUNY.
Okay.
I do not work for the State Office of Cannabis Management. No, I do not. I work for BMCC is my employer.
Okay. I hope that answers your question. All right, moving right along. So I think a few people came late when I give my report, and I want to just make sure that acknowledgement is given where acknowledgement is deserved. Sonia Clark, I think you came on late on the call. When I give a special thank you for your assistance and participation. Also Daniel was here before with the event on Saturday. Did you hear me? I'm not sure if you.
I did.
Okay, thank you very much. I also want to welcome one of our new members who is a business owner, Ms. Janelle Howard. We, as a Commerce Committee, we're always happy when we have business owners that are actually member of the committee. So Ms. Janelle Howard, I want to personally welcome you to the Commerce Committee, and looking forward to a fruitful. Janelle is the owner, one of the owners of
Hi, guys.
Lily's Restaurant on Utica and Avenue. Foster and
Farragut.
Foster and
It's on Utica between Foster and Farragut.
No, but you're right at the
Foster.
yeah, right at the corner of Foster. And I can attest, I've ate at that location several times. The food is really good. The ambience is awesome. And for those who have not visited, feel free to do so. Welcome. Moving right along. You're very welcome, Janelle. Moving right along. The next item on the agenda is a liquor license. Is Mr. Agard here with us tonight? I know he's the representative on Round 2 Cafe Catering Corp., located at 1165 Utica Avenue. This is a renewal. Mr. Agard, are you here with us tonight?
Yes, good evening.
Oh, you are. Sorry,
Yes,
Mr. Agard. Okay, so this is just a renewal. I'm just going to give you the floor briefly so you could tell us a little bit about your client.
Okay, this is Round 2, which is at the corner of Clarendon and Utica. And again, like you said, I think this is about their third renewal. They've been there for quite a while now, quite a few years. And the owner is Winsome Pringle. And she, we usually represent them at these meetings for her. So here we are again. I'm sure most people in the community are very familiar with the establishment Round 2. It's a full-service restaurant and bar, and they've expanded from one store, and they've now taken over, I think, 3 stores that their restaurant has enlarged.
It has,
you know,
Mr. Agard, it has been 3 stores for the last couple of years.
Yes.
All right. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but.
No, that's fine. No, that was it. That was pretty much it. Like I said, I believe most people are very familiar with the establishment already.
Okay. We have a police report. There's no incident to report for a 12-month period. So are there any questions for Mr. Agard? I can't see everyone, so if you have a question, if you have your hands up and I did not acknowledge you, please just let me know. Hearing none, we'll vote in a little while, Mr.
I have one. I always have one.
Sorry, no problem. That's why I say it because I can't see
Mr. Agard is waiting for me to ask a question.
Of course.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. I know you said that it's gotten bigger, but does that have to be reflected in the new license, or was it already reflected in the license renewal already?
Yeah, it was already done a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
it was done. It was done previously when they expanded. We had to do that. Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
That's when I corrected him because there have been 3 stores for quite a few years. Okay, are there any other questions for the renewal of Round 2 Cafe and Catering Corp? I don't see any hands. Hearing none, I'll move on to the next application. Okay, cannabis, something new for us here at Community Board 17. The first applicant is, well, it says Kendrick Kelly. I know you're on the line. This application is located at 119 Veronica Place, Brooklyn, New York. It's for a micro business. No, they're doing business as Above Maker LLC. And it's a micro business application. And like I said before, it's located at 119 Veronica Place, Brooklyn, New York, 1126. Mr. Kelly or Mr. Omar, whoever will be the spokesperson. Would that be you, Mr. Omar?
I could speak up, Mr.
You
Kelly,
can
if you don't
speak.
mind.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to give us a little history about this application, this is all new to everyone on the call. It's a learning process for us. So the more information you can provide to us, the better it will be for us to vote. So the floor is now yours for you to tell us a little bit about this application and why you choose this location or why you even want to have a smoke shop.
So it wouldn't necessarily be a smoke shop. So the cannabis business is a very big industry, but you know, being able to supply the demand is key. A lot of the dispensaries that are here, the cannabis comes from other states. So it's a key component to have things made here within our county. So our proposed micro business, well, just to give you a breakdown of what a micro business is, it's supposed to be a small business with 10 employees or less. It's going to be a family owned and operated business. You know, Kenrick's family has a background in growing cannabis in Jamaica. And we was impacted as, I want to say when we were younger, but when we were youths in this field. So it's crazy to see, you know, that it's now legalized and we'll be getting in the industry with your permission or consent. So you know, the goal is to just make safe cannabis. A lot of the stuff that's out here is synthetic, has RBG, it's dense, it's not grown the way that it should be. So it's just to be compliant with the regulatory compliances and, you know, I have a knowledge in business. I've been a realtor for 17 years. I'm one of the only few brokers. I'm the only broker in Bed-Stuy with the office. And or that's black, shall I say. And you know, I'm just here to support and answer as much questions as I can. I have a good background in on sales and you know, but originally my roots started in cannabis.
Okay, so I have a quick one. I know this is not really a requirement, but I know you said it's a family business. It's a family business. What are the cross streets? Us first of all, what are the cross streets? I didn't get to visit that location because this application just came before us like last week or something. What do you know the cross streets? Veronica Place and what? I know it's. Can you give us the cross street?
The cross streets is, give me 1 second. I gotta
All
Google
right.
it so I don't give you.
Okay, and a follow-up question would be
Tilden.
Baltimore and Tilden.
Okay, all right. And my follow-up question would be, you do have well, not ownership, I mean, because you don't really require to own the building, but you do have a lease. You have a lease.
Yes.
Okay, that would be my question. I'll now open the floor to anyone who has any questions. If I don't see you, please just say I have a question, as I cannot see everyone on the screen.
I have a question.
Go right ahead, Ms. Adele.
How far is it from the school?
Can't hear you, ma'am.
How far are you from the school?
Excuse me.
How far are you from the school?
There's a school about a block away.
1 block away. The school is 1 block away.
And do you already have your
Excuse me, ma'am. We can't hear you.
already have applied for your state license?
Yes, we've applied for the state license already.
Did you check your measurements before you applied?
I was gonna say that.
But with the micro business, it's so you're supposed to be 500 feet away from a school or 200 feet away from a house of worship. But for micro businesses, they don't ask you for those. They ask you for those requirements for retail dispensaries. That location will be a grow site.
Okay, got it. The
Okay.
retail dispensary would not be here.
That a retail dispensary will not be there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I asked about could I have separate locations for the
Right.
dispensaries?
Yeah. Fair enough. So that no one is coming to that store just to
Yeah,
purchase. Yeah, you're more like
no.
a distributor per se. All right. Are
Cultivation.
they
Let's say cultivation.
Yes.
cultivation? Well, I'm so familiar with the liquor license
No, it's
process.
all right.
Let me say distribution. All right. Are there any other questions? Committee members, please
Yeah,
ask
I have
questions.
a question.
Go right ahead, Miss Margarita.
You said it's a grow site.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's all you're going to be doing there is growing weed.
Correct.
Okay, I don't really know much about that aspect of it. So is that all inside, or do you have to have an outside area? What does that entail
So
exactly?
with the business, you can cultivate cannabis. If it's outdoors, it can be up to 5,000 square feet. So it's going to be a canopy. Outdoor, this is basically vacant land, and it's going to be a canopy to grow.
So you don't actually have a building that.
No, it's not a
would
building.
be
This is land.
outside.
Gotcha.
Okay, so how do you protect that? Is it fenced in? Like what do
Yes,
you?
it's gated.
And how is it protected from theft? From people just going in there and stealing the plants?
That's a
Good
Security.
question.
that's a good
Security.
question,
Cameras,
Good
right?
security.
question.
Cameras, security. Canines, and God.
Yeah.
Are you really going to have canines? Seriously?
No, but really, no, we don't need canines. Just security in regards to cameras, motion detectors, and pretty much like with a camera would be able to give you notification if somebody was to step foot on the grounds of the property.
Right. Okay, and so these fences, are these going to be like high fences, like 8-foot fences, like what?
It's high fences.
Yes, it will be secured.
And is it visible? Is it visible from the front? Like a person could just look at it and see that what it is, like a name.
At this time, it's just vacant land to be
No, I
totally.
know that, but I'm talking about when you get the license.
Will it be visible?
Would they? There's a big name.
The only people that would know that it exists will be the people that work there and the people that's a part of this meeting right now. But it won't be visible. Like it wouldn't have a billboard in front that would state.
Wouldn't it require a name though? I mean,
no, because this is basically just a canopy.
Gotcha.
It's just a canopy, so it wouldn't. I don't think it's necessary. But I don't work for OCM.
Right. I'm sure it probably has to, because they have to be able to identify what is at that site. So there might be some
Can
sort
I follow up? I'm sorry.
Sure. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite sure, but I guess OCM will definitely let you know what is required. Okay. Margarita, you have the floor.
Yeah, I just to follow up on that. So there are regulations for outdoor growing, and we just don't know what they are, or
what do you mean by regulations?
As far as housing it.
It can be in a canopy. It could be either it's 3 categories. Well, it's 2 categories. It could be either indoor or outdoor. And if it's mixed light, it's up to 5,000 square feet. If it's outdoor, it can be up to 10,000 square feet. If it's indoors, it's 3,500 square feet.
Okay, but outdoors, there's no regulation to how it's housed outdoors. Like you say, you're putting up a fence or whatever, but there's no regulation to how high the fence has to be.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
I think that would be a building department issue.
Yeah.
As to how high the fence can be.
I mean, but there probably should be some regulation on that for outdoor growing, I would think.
Because it's a learning process for us all, right? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, June, I have. This is George.
Go ahead, George.
Yeah, just a point of clarification. At this point, Mr. Kelly is applying just for the cultivation side, or is he also applying for a dispensary site?
Well, the micro business.
Mr. Kelly, let me answer that one for you. So the 30-day notice says micro business. which means, like he explained earlier, the cultivated part of the process. Later on, he will have to, as Mr. Floyd explained to us and Mr. Thomas said, he has to get another site where if he wants to retail it, he can, but it would not be at that location, 119 Veronica Place.
Okay, you answered my question, because that was going to be my next question. Where would be the site? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and if I may add a little bit more from learning earlier, that information will have to be provided to OCM when he's applying for his application. This is just his 30 days notice to the community board, and he does not have to provide that information to us. Am I right, Mr. Floyd?
You're correct.
All right, quick learner. Moving right along, are there any other questions?
Yes, I've had my hand up now for 15
I am so sorry, Sonia. I tell you, I
important
can't see anyone. Yeah,
look
my
at-
apologies. Go right ahead. Mhm.
So I just want to understand what is it that comes before the Commerce Committee as it pertains to this particular project or license or whatever. Because I think as a committee, if this is coming to us to not approve, but to have some vote on, or I'm just trying to understand because I need to be informed. I have no idea what the process is, what the requirements are, what are the regulations. And maybe that's a document that we should have as a community commerce committee if this comes under our jurisdiction, like approving liquor licenses before they get to the full board. Because I'm a little concerned about, I think Mr. Fly was it? Or I don't remember this gentleman name that mentioned about the canopy. And the only people that will know about what is happening is people on the board on this meeting and him. But I can say that if somebody wants to find out about something, they will find it. So my concern would be what kind of access the public can easily get to this canopy. And again, I have no idea what this whole thing is about. So I would like to be an informed person, to have some kind of document, and also to find out if this is what part of the Commerce Committee will be doing.
So were you at last month's meeting, Sonia? I don't recall.
Remember I came late and
right, you came late. So
sorry.
It was no. So as a chair of the Commerce Committee, OCM is the agency that handles cannabis. Yes, we were notified that we will be handling cannabis application will be coming before the board. We did have, I think, 2 applications last month, but it was a no-show. I did provided the full community Commerce Committee with links to OCM. To the various links that will educate the members, because this is a learning process for all of us. I was invited to attend, I think, 2 workshops, and so it's also a learning process for me. What I can explain to you, the part that we are really concerned about, it's actually they have to inform the community board via a 30-day notice, just like a liquor license application. Their intent to do business in our community board 17. The type of applications that we will be facing right now, it's the retail dispensary premise, whether it's a new or additional, registered organization with dispensing of ROD, and the micro business. So those are the 3 categories in which we are we'll see that is coming before us. And again,
my apology. I don't want to keep it everyone.
No. This is important. This is important for everyone. That's why I'm bringing it forward.
I don't want to infringe on people's time, so I understand. So I'll get those links.
Yes. So so those are the 3 categories, and like I said, it's a learning process for all of us. The more application we get, the better we'll become at it. Correct?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're very welcome. If there's no other question, I'd like to proceed to another applicant. I'm not sure.
I have my Hazel Martinez. I have my hand up.
Sorry, Hazel. Go right ahead. My apologies.
Okay. The question I have is, because I'm looking at this thing on this location, and how What are this, do you have to notify the surrounding residents about what's going to go on there? And then I just see a fence there that doesn't seem like it would be guarding much of anything.
I can answer
And
that.
do you own this property?
No, we don't own the property.
I asked that question earlier, Isla,
Okay.
about ownership. They're not required to notify the surrounding businesses. No, they're not. That's a OCM. They sometimes can actually assist in the location according to the workshops that I've had, that I've been on. Those are the information we were provided with. So they're not required to do that. They're only required to notify the community board by a 30-day notice, just like the State Liquor Authority.
Because you know that's going to create a whole new set of problems.
Unfortunately, I don't make the rules. I just go with what I was told, unfortunately. Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Go right ahead. Identify yourself for the record.
Adele Bennett.
Adele, go ahead. This is going to be the last question. We have to move. Okay.
Yes, we have all the information. It's for you, Ms. Prasad. Why is it vetting people?
I'm sorry?
Why is it we're giving recommendations for these places and they haven't gotten a license from the state yet? Shouldn't they get the license from the state first and then come to us?
Why are we? Did you say we're giving recommendation? Is that that's the correct word you use?
Recommendation.
No, nobody, Adele. No one is giving recommendation.
I'm asking you.
What we're doing is processing a 30-day notice that the applicant is required to do as part of their application process, just similar to a State Liquor Authority applicant. They have to notify the community board. This is their intent to open this type of establishment. They may or may not be approved depending on what our vote is tonight. The OCM has the final decision. So no one is making any recommendation. We can vote them down and OCM can still give them their license. We can vote them yes and OCM can deny their license. So it's all up to OCM. No one here on the community board is giving any recommendation.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, that's going to be the last question on this application because we have to move forward. Let's see if the other two applicants are here. If not, then we'll do a vote. Power Plant Dispensary, Flatbush LLC. Are you on the call or any representative? I'm going to say it again just for the purpose of Power Plant Dispensary, Flatbush LLC. Well, it's funny, the location is 4315 Farragut Road, which I probably see why they did not show up because that address actually came before the community board last month for a liquor license application. So that's there, no show on this. So I'll move on to the next application. No show. The next application is Special Friends LLC, located at 1697 Nostrand Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11226. Is there a representative or the applicant on the call? I'm going to say it again. Special Friends LLC, located at 1697 Nostrand Avenue. Is there a representative or the applicant on the call? Hearing none, this is also a no-show. Okay.
Could I like speak on something?
What is it relating to? Is there another question? Is it?
No, the location. The location, just to answer some questions.
Which location?
Location. Yeah, where we planning to cultivate at.
Well, I think we've covered most of the questions already. We have to be off the call at 9 o'clock and we have to vote, right? Sorry about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's the applicant, isn't he? Aren't you the applicant?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So maybe he wants to give us a little more information? He's not
Nah,
answering the question. Maybe you just have some more information you want to give us?
Yeah, so being that we're not planning to sell like a we're not planning to have a dispensary at this site, right? And if it wasn't for this meeting, a lot of like we're not planning on broadcasting or letting everybody know where the site is at. So I get your concerns about the community being safe, but if it wasn't for this meeting, especially for me and Omar, which is my business partner, we're planning on keeping this location a secret. Nobody don't know what Above Maker LLC is. It's just the address.
I think we get that, Mr. Kelly.
But I know you get it, but I don't think, because it was two questions before that. I don't think they got it.
Okay. We have to move along. It's 8:53 and we have to do a vote. So committee members, we will proceed with the vote. We're voting on two applications. We're voting on the renewal of Rung 2 Cafe, and we're voting on one cannabis application, Mr. Kendrick Kelly, located at 119 Veronica Place. If you vote yes on both application, you say yes on both. If you vote no, you say no on both, or if you vote no on one and yes on the other, please identify. Okay? Are there any questions before we start the voting regarding the voting process? Hearing none, I'm going to proceed.
I have one question, but it's not regarding the voting process. I got to clarify something.
No problem.
Because Mr. Kelly said that it's going to be a secret, but you will just have fencing up. So obviously people are going to see it. How do you keep it a secret unless you have it enclosed? And that's an important question to me.
It's a canopy.
I mean, yeah, it's a canopy, so it doesn't have to be transparent where you can look through and see through it. It could be any type
A canopy means something covering the top. What's covering the sides?
Yeah, but it would be fencing. It's not like we're gonna have we're gonna be growing and having like just showing that we're growing stuff there. It'll be secure. It's a canopy area.
But a canopy just means a cover over the top. What covers the sides so that you can't see into it?
It'd be fully enclosed, ma'am, to answer your question.
Yes.
Okay,
It's like a
maybe tent, like a tent.
Miss Margarita, it's
Yeah.
like a greenhouse. Am I correct? It has to be like a greenhouse because we're going to be growing plants.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
so then it actually has a structure, which is the first question I asked originally. So there's a structure around it.
Oh yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we have to move on. I think we've covered a lot of questions relating to this application. So we're going to vote. June Passard, I'm going to say yes on all two. Adele Bennett?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your vote. It's a yes.
If you vote, we're voting for round two, which is a liquor license renewal, and we're voting on a cannabis application. If you vote yes for all two, you say yes on all two. If you vote no for all two, you say no on all two. If you vote yes for one and no for the other, just identify which one you're voting yes and which you're voting no, so we can be clear. Adele Bennett?
For cannabis, no. For round two, yes.
Fair enough. George Tate?
Yes for both.
Margarita Vigilante?
Yes for the cannabis, yes for the liquor. I'm just so unsure about the cannabis. I don't know what to say.
Margarita,
I'm gonna say
yeah.
I'm gonna say abstain on that. I can't make my mind
Fair
up.
enough, no problem. Bree DeCasta?
Yes to round two, and I also am going to abstain from the cannabis
No
license.
problem. Sonia Clark?
Yes, I will vote yes for the renewal, but I have to abstain from the cannabis.
No problem. No problem. Ruby Harrison, she's absent. Alison French Kenton. Alison French Kenton.
Yes for the roundtable, no for the cannabis.
Okay, no. Cheryl Sanders.
Yes for both.
Ozzy Lewis.
Yes for both.
John Dixon is absent. Simone Sylvester. Simone Sylvester. Are you still on the call, Simone? Okay, maybe not. Ivor Woods.
Yes for both.
Daniel McCain.
Yes for both.
Hazel Martinez.
Yes for the renewal, no to the cannabis.
Okay. Sean Hopkins, I think he's absent. Celia Bedian, I think she's absent. She joined later. Tawara Bakari.
Yes to both.
Okay. Janelle Howard.
Yes to both.
Francis Bell.
Yes for both.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tally this. So we have we have 2 no's and 3 abstention for the cannabis application, and we have all 20 yes. Well, not 20. I'll have to calculate them later. So the application technically is approved by the Commerce Committee. However, normally our meetings are the day before the general board meeting, but with this month, I think 2 times of the year, it falls after the general board meeting. So applicants, Mr. Agard and Mr. Kelly, you will have to come to the December general board meeting where a final voting takes place by all board members. The Commerce Committee is just a recommendation to the general board. So that's where the final decision is made. You will be informed by the community board of the place and time for the meeting. But in December, I think it's the 3rd Wednesday of the month. Okay, please make sure you are there. And that meeting is in person. If you're not in person, a vote will not take place. So I'm just letting you know that. Okay. If I made myself clear? Okay. Moving right along, are there any unfinished business?
Yes, Mr. Prasad.
Go ahead, Mr. Ozzy.
Unfinished business is the Tourism Center. 2 aspects, the workforce development as well as the business development part of it. Now, I have been in talks with Maurice, who is the person that is supposed to be doing the workforce development, and I'm still waiting for them to actually give us an actual way for people in the community to get access to the positions. That construction started in June or July, and I am not getting free-flowing information as to how many people in the community have been employed at that job. Okay? So I have asked for metrics and different things, so I'm just bringing it to our attention that the agitation has to be, from the community also. There is supposed to be at the site an area where people could go who are interested in getting job opportunities. They could scan a QR code, answer some questions. So far to date, only 34 people have done that. So we need more people to go there, find out, and be proactive in getting the opportunities, because if they don't see it, they're going to look outside and our community will not benefit from it. For the people on the business aspect, in particular those in construction, I'm an electrical contractor, right? I have been in pursuit of that. I'm waiting for them to get the prime who already got an opportunity to bid to get subcontractor opportunities. for the folks that don't have MBE and all these different things. I'm going to try to talk to Ms. Posad about putting a meeting in terms of that aspect of it for the MBEs and so forth to get access to the primes. I'm still waiting for that too. So we have to all together be proactive in terms of pushing the needle and having these folks know that we are interested in this project. It's $131 million, one of the largest in the 5 boroughs. And I think this is going to be the biggest of the 5 how many ever recreational centers. So we need to be a part of this. That ends my unfinished business.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from Mr. Ozzie on this? For those of you who are not clear as to what this is, churchism is about?
Mr. Tate has his hands up.
Oh, okay. Well, we're almost finished, but to the applicants, feel free to disembark or sign off if you want, so we could continue with our business. I forgot to mention that. Your portion of the meeting is adjourned. So it was nice having you here. Feel free to do, just log off. Mr. Kelly, Mr. Omar, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I have one question.
I'm sorry, Mr. 1 second, too. Mr. Kelly and who else? Mr. Kelly, you had something to say?
Yes. Will we get a reminder of the December date?
Yes, the community board will send you an email of the date and the location. Yes. Thank you for coming.
All right.
Yeah, have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Happy holidays. Happy
The very
Thanksgiving,
same to you
everyone.
guys. Thank you very
Same
much.
to you guys.
Mr. Floyd, you had a quick question. You can log off, guys.
You need me to stay also, or?
Yeah, no, you could drop off if you wish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will send that to you, and if you guys need me, just reach out.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being our guest speaker tonight. Much
You're
appreciated. Okay. Mr. Omar, you could log off too. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you, George. Are there any questions for Mr. Who was that? Mr. Lewis? Hearing none. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm coming to each and every one of your homes for dinner. All right. Enjoy. And I'll see you guys next month.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. Thank
Everyone.
you. I appreciate you all coming out. We had 16 members on the call tonight out of 20. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.